I have got a lovely cup of coffee with like pumpkin spice seasoning added to it. Wonderful. And we're here to do a book haul. Got a big old stack of books here, many of which were sent to me by publishers, which was very, very nice of them. And some I just had to get on my own. So here we are. Let's dive in. First, we've got a historical fiction book. This is Little Souls. This was sent to me by St. Martin's Press. Thank you so much, you guys. This is already out. It came out August 22nd. And the premise is bringing it. This takes place in Colorado in 1918. So we have World War I going on, as well as the Spanish flu going on. That is the backdrop, very dark backdrop. And we have two women coming together. One of the women has a lady living with them in the basement. They're like a tenant. So this woman has a daughter, and she discovers that this woman has come down with the Spanish flu. And so she ends up having to take in and care for this little girl named Dorothy. And one day, I can't remember which of the women, Luty, I think, comes home to find Helen standing over a dead body with an ice pick in her hand. She's killed someone, and it looks like it's Dorothy's father. Now, she's killed him in self-defense, but still, she's killed this man. And they have to contend with that, as well as everything else they've got going on. That premise, I was like, yes, I will review that. I would love to read that book. You know me, no heart. So let's read the first line, shall we? The blue black dusk had come on by the time I got off of the streetcar and started down the sidewalk. Not a 5-star first line, but still looks really good. Just the premise. Whew! Another book that St. Martin's Press kindly sent to me is Rainbow Parenting, Your Guide to Raising Queer Kids and Their Allies. I don't know if Nora is going to be queer or not. I know a little boy in her class really loves to dress up in dresses. We love that kiddo. And if she is going to be a member of the LGBTQIA plus community, I want her to have people around her and kids around her be good to her. And if she's not, I want her to be good to those kids who are queer. And so I thought this was such a great book to have out there. I'd love to learn how to raise her to be an ally or be proud of who she is and her identity. So I'm hoping to read this. Well, I mean, school is starting, so I should probably read it sooner than later. Okay, so we've got an introduction. I don't know if I should read that. Maybe I'll read the first line of chapter 1. The stakes, the state of LGBTQ plus youth. Before we get into the work of spreading queer joy, you need to understand why this work is both incredibly important and incredibly urgent. Okay, not a 5-star first line, but interested nonetheless in that book for sure. The next book that I've got is The Fraud by Zadie Smith. This is a chunker. Oh my goodness, it's big. I've never read Zadie Smith, guys, which seems like a crime, truly. This is her latest. This was sent to me from Penguin Random House Canada. Thank you guys so much for sending this over to me. This takes place in the 1800s, in 1873 in particular, and we follow Mrs. Eliza Touche. She is the cousin of William Ainsworth, who is a writer, and she is also his housekeeper, and she's lived with him for like 30-ish years. Now, she's an interesting woman in and of her own right. She's involved with abolitionism, justice, literature, and she suspects that her cousin has no talent at all, and England is not a great place to live either. So she's kind of forward thinking. We also follow a Black man named Andrew Bogle. He grew up enslaved on the Hope Plantation in Jamaica. He understands the cost of slavery, the cost of sugar, and he becomes a star witness in a very explosive case. He's a star witness. This case is I'll just read it here. It's the Tichborne trial, wherein a lower-class butcher from Australia claimed he was in fact the rightful heir of a sizable estate and title. And this trial captivates all of England, including Mrs. Touchet, and of course, Andrew Bogle is right in the midst of it all. So is this man, Roger Tichborne, really who he says he is? Is he a fraud? And we'll find that out in this book. It sounds really interesting. So let us read the first line. I like that we've got two characters that we're following in this book, offering different perspectives. Okay, a very large hole. A filthy boy stood on the doorstep. Not a 5-star first line. Still want to read it. And the last book that was sent to me from publishers is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. Simon & Schuster Canada sent this over, and like, I am so excited for this. This takes place in 1978. We're following a serial killer wreaking havoc. So we have one girl in Florida State University. She knows about the serial killer, but she's not overly fussed about it until one night she hears something happening in her dorm room, or in her dorm, I should say. She goes out and sees two of her sorority sisters dead. I don't know if she then has to confront the murderer. Is the murderer still there? Is he gone? I don't know. Then we go all the way across the country to Seattle, where Tina lives. And she has very much been scarred, and is joined by another girl named Ruth, by stuff that they've gone through in the past. Tina's trying to get her life together when Ruth suddenly goes missing, and Tina is determined to find out what happened to Ruth, and it sounds like it brings her to the Pacific Northwest. Maybe she thinks that the serial killer has something to do with what happened to Ruth. I don't know, but I'm here for it and want to read this immediately. Let's read the first line. Okay, so this is from Pamela's perspective in Montclair, New Jersey, day 15,695. You may not remember me, but I have never forgotten you, begins the letter written in perfect Catholic school cursive. I really like that line. I think that's a 5-star first line. I really, really like that. Okay, so the rest of the books are books that I got on my own. A couple of which I got brand new. And then some I went to the Value Village and did some digging, some thrifting. I haven't done that in a while. And it was really nice. I really love doing that. And I don't know why I've kind of stopped. I might do more of that in the future because it's just a nice way to spend the day, or even like an hour. Anyway, first book is brand new. Got it with my own money from Chapters. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to be taken away from this book. This is Strange Sally Diamond. It's the new Liz Nugent, and this follows a woman named Sally Diamond. When she was 7, she was taken in by a psychiatrist. She does not remember anything that happened to her before then. Absolutely nothing. She is taken in, and then when she's in her 30s, at some point, there is a news headline that describes what happened to her as a child that is absolutely devastating. She went through extreme trauma, and she doesn't remember it. And she is learning about what happened to her at the same time as the entire world does. So she's learning what happened to her. And she's simultaneously getting these strange things in the mail, strange teddy bears. She's being called other names like Mary. Her name is Sally, but people are calling her Mary. It's a very confusing time for her. And I'm here for this ride. I'm so excited. I love Liz Nugent. She's an Irish author, and she writes extremely unlikable characters a lot of the time. And you might not like them, but you need to know what they're doing and what they're going to do next. I don't know if Sally Diamond is going to be unlikable, but I need to know about her. Okay, let's read the first line. "Put me out with the trash," he said regularly. Ooh, I like that. Okay, 5-star first line. Put me out with the trash. Okay, next up is 2 books that I got yesterday when I'm filming this yesterday at Value Village. I went searching and found 2 good ones. Hopefully they're good. I don't know. Girl A is first by Abigail Dean. This book honestly sounds quite sad. This is about a girl who lived through the unthinkable. She lived in a house of horrors, and she is known as Girl A, the girl who escaped. She was the eldest in her family. She escaped and was able to tell the police or someone about what was going on, what her parents were doing to her and her siblings, and she's able to rescue her siblings. Now, her father, I believe, dies in this rescue, but her mother is spending time behind bars. She doesn't want to think about her family. She's not really close to her siblings anymore. But when her mom dies in prison, she leaves the house, the family house of horrors, unfortunately, to our main character, Girl A. And she's determined to turn this house of horrors into a place that does some good. And she needs the help of her sister and her brothers, I think, to do that. This sounds like it's going to be really messed up and very heartbreaking, but I'm still very interested. All right, let's read the first line. Lex, Girl A. "You don't know me, but you'll have seen my face." Oh, I like that too. Okay, another 5-star first line. Hooray. Next is The Golden Doves. This is a new book by Martha Hall Kelly. She wrote The Lilac Girls, which I really enjoyed. I haven't read anything else by her since then. This is a chunky one, but I think it's brand new. Like, I'm pretty sure this just came out. And I also really love it when people have just bought this book, like just read it. Like, I know it's read, but then they donate it, even though it's a brand new release. So this book follows 2 spies. One is American, one is French. They are trying to bring down the Germans. They're trying to find out their secrets. And they're both caught at one point, and they're both sent to, I think, some sort of camp. Yes, the Ravensbrück concentration camp. They're also sent there with their loved ones. And a Nazi doctor absolutely ruins both of their lives. One of them, Josie, her mother is tortured essentially by this doctor. I don't know if she makes it out alive. And then the other, Arlette, her son is stolen from her. And so you follow them then, and then you follow them 10 years later, trying to bring down this doctor who I think essentially got off scot-free after the war has ended, and they're trying to bring them down. And that just sounds great to me. It really does. I think spies can be overdone a lot of the time, but when it's done right, I really enjoy them. So I'm hoping that Martha can make that story like come alive for me. Oh, we have to read the first line. I nearly forgot. People don't do that. Okay, here we go. First line, Josie, Fort Bliss, Texas, 1952. I wake at dawn, face down on the sofa, thinking I'm back in block 10. It's not a 5-star first line from me, but I'm still going to read it. The next book I have already read, and it is quite overwhelming. I will say this book is called Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia. I think I've mentioned this book before to you guys. I hope it wasn't in another... I don't think it was in a haul. I think it was in a wrap-up, because I read it and highlighted the crap out of this book. This book essentially teaches you how you can live a longer life, but not only live a longer life, live a life of enjoyment, because he speaks a lot about the last decade of people's lives. And if you do certain things, like if you exercise, if you are not overweight, if you don't smoke, if you do these certain things and you make it to that last decade of your life, you're going to have a better time than people who have not done those things. And of course, I'm reading it at a time where I have been just not eating well, not exercising, not doing the things I should be doing. So that is why it's a stressful book for me. Other people are going to read this and be like, oh my God, I'm awesome. I'm doing all the right things. And anyway, good for those people. But it really was so compact, and I learned so much through this. It speaks to different diseases that people can get towards the end of their life. So of course, different cancers, cardiovascular disease, different mind diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's, and that kind of thing. And he speaks to like the importance of early screening and regular screening for cancers. I took so many notes. He has a podcast as well that I've been listening to. He's just a wealth of information, and I really enjoyed it a lot, in a terrified kind of way. So anyway, let's read the first line of the introduction. In the dream, I'm trying to catch the falling eggs. Not a 5-star first line, but usually I find, like, I don't know, nonfiction like this doesn't usually have a 5-star first line. I do really recommend reading this book. I've highlighted it and I've taken notes, and I'm like hopefully going to like construct a plan to start implementing these things into my life. Little hint, apparently exercise is like the most important thing that you can do for your health. I didn't know that. Those are all of the books that I have hauled as of late. Let me know if you've gotten any good books lately, or like if there's anything coming out soon that you're excited about. I have a laundry list of new releases that I'm so excited about. Maybe I should do a video about that. Let me know if you'd like that. I don't have any of them, but I'm hopefully going to buy some, or maybe be sent some from publishers. That would be incredible. Anyway, I will talk with you soon. Let me know what you're excited to read, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye, guys.